You know how there's the 10-year challenge on Facebook? I gave in and I did it. Usually I don't really do those trends, but something about it, I just wanted to reminisce. And a friend of mine commented on there talking about how I had a whole 10 years to collect a bunch of chains and I failed. And that's because like I had this photo where I'm literally wearing just like a bunch of chains.
Your photo is peak 2012. Like, it's adorable, but I was like, you can absolutely tell, like, that's from 2012.
Were you like going to the club?
I was working at Armani Exchange at the time, the Santa Monica Promenade.
It was a vibe.
Okay.
And I was in the dressing room and I was like, I'm going to take a picture of myself. And those chains are just, I would go to kind of like the fashion district in LA and just pick up yards of chains, all different types of chains, because I like to make my own jewelry.
Yeah, they were like on your arms almost.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So at that time, I just decided to wrap myself in chains. And yeah, I was just like working with a bunch
Alex
of chains.
in chains.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sometimes I take parts of ripped jeans and like use them as like pendants and like tie them onto the chains.
That's cool.
It was just ridiculousness. But I was trying to remember like who was I at that time? Like what was I listening to? Like what was I doing? And I remember one thing from 2012. If there's anything I remember, is always listening to "Finally Famous" by Big Sean at the time, and especially the song "Dance." You know, the one that goes ass, ass, ass. And
Oh
Nicki
my
Minaj
God.
is in it.
I knew Nicki's entire verse to that song,
Yeah,
and I would
exactly.
impress my friends with it all the time.
That was how I felt all of 2012. And that was just ass, ass in my mind. Like everywhere I went, I could just be like getting something at McDonald's, ass, ass, anything, like going to the library.
This burger is going to go straight to my ass, 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 ass.
And yeah, I'm like, would I even like bring, like who was I? Like right now, my top song on my playlist is Wheels on the Bus. So it's like a completely different contrast. And I'm wondering, like, is there anything from 10 years ago that you have now or like would like to have brought to the present or even into the future, like that you would like to see in the future?
I want to start with Nicole because she was like an infant 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, I was in 8th grade. I was graduating 8th grade and going to freshman year of high school. So I'm trying to think that was quite a long time ago. I don't really remember much from that time. I guess I wanted to bring my friends from 2012 to 2022, but
that's nice. What were you guys doing together at the time? Like, was there any like jamming sessions that you guys would do at your?
We were just a really
sleepovers or something, or like,
we were just a really fun group, and I kind of just distanced myself from them because of reasons that I will not say on the podcast.
Real quick. My bad.
Spill the tea on the podcast for everyone to hear.
Okay.
I'm ready for the steaming liquid.
I found out
we found our format change, you guys.
Yes. So if you're listening, I told them this, and this is why I left the friend group. They had a group chat without me and always hang out without me. And I found out and I got very upset because I have feelings.
Yeah.
But besides the point,
and
what
just
I want
like
to bring.
You weren't friends.
Yes.
You're staying in 2012.
Yes. But besides the point, what I wanted to bring to 2022 from 2012, gosh, maybe Jersey Shore.
I
loved Jersey
Shore. That's not a bad idea.
Jersey
I hated
Shore.
Jersey Shore, but
I love Jersey
That was
Shore.
such a fun
Definitely a
show, but
staple.
now they're all parents and are married and have lives of their own. So I suppose it wouldn't be as fun.
they had a reunion thing last
They
year,
did.
didn't they?
They
They
did, and
did.
it was entertaining. But yeah, once you get married and start popping up babies, your life isn't as fun anymore. Sorry,
Yeah.
y'all. I'm
Facts.
married. It's listen, I'm not hating.
You're not telling lies.
But yeah, I can't really think of much, to be honest. Definitely Jersey Shore. But other than that, probably some good music. Taylor Swift's 2012 era was definitely a bop. I don't listen to her now, but 2012 Taylor Swift, I totally bring to 2022 as well.
It's weird because I'm celebrating my 10-year wedding anniversary this year.
Aw.
And so I've been thinking a lot about 10 years ago and looking at pictures from our wedding and stuff like that. And outside of having kids, my life really hasn't changed that much. I still listen to the same kind of music. I still watch a lot of the same shows. Like Florence and the Machine. I was really, really into Florence and the Machine in
yeah.
2012 and still am. Got a Florence vinyl for Christmas. So How I Met Your Mother, I think, was like a big deal for me back in 2012. But I don't know if I'd bring that back now. Like How I Met Your Father is coming out this month, and I'm not really excited about it. So,
oh God, I know. I'm very iffy about that.
yeah, so it's like, I don't know. Some things should just stay back there, and maybe they're still my favorite because of the nostalgia associated with them, you know. But 10 years from now, I would like to see The Simpsons still on the air just because I don't want it to ever die. And some iteration of Law and Order still on the air. Not necessarily SVU because it's,
you know what though? What I saw your kind of like comparison 10-year challenge, and you look exactly the same.
Yeah, you
as
do.
You did 10 years ago.
Vampire confirmed.
That's what I'm trying to
we
figure
drink
out
that,
here.
that Paul
We
Rudd.
only see her at night. I'm
Elixir.
just saying.
Have you ever seen Hayley in the middle of the day?
What we do in the shadows.
2012, Shauna was blonde and had just graduated college and was living in sin with her boyfriend. Woo! We're married now. It's fine. I listened to a lot of the same things that I listen to now. I was really into a band called Circa Survive, which is still one of my favorite bands. Lady Gaga, of course, 2012, the year of Our Lady Gaga. Blessed be. AFI. It's just, a lot of the same. But then thinking back to the TV shows that I was obsessed with, Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. Like, we would go to our friend's house every single Sunday night, and we'd all sit in the sofa. These are friends we don't even speak to anymore for one reason or the other. No tea, no shade. But we would all just sit in their couch and be watching Walking Dead every Sunday. That was like our ritual.
That was like top tier Walking Dead.
Yeah, that was
2011,
like
2012.
Shane is still around Walking Dead. I mean, maybe some fan right now is probably listening like, he died in 2011. But yeah, I would say Breaking Bad and Walking Dead were probably my top tier shows in 2012. Things that I want to take with me in 2032. God, Gaga, just Gaga. She's still gonna be amazing. So
cool. I like it. I like it. Moral of the story: do we ever change?
Some things change.
Time is a
things
myth,
stay
and nothing is real.
Coming in hot from Olympus Games in Mesa, Arizona.
It's the Pop Culture Junkie Podcast.
Hey, everybody, this is Pop Culture Junkie Podcast. This is your boy, Alexander Castillo Nunez, the whole name. And to my left and to my right, I got my junkies here who join me on the show. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Shauna Trinidad.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Hayley.
And for the third time, this is the Pop Culture Junkie Podcast. If you didn't get it the first time 5 seconds ago. That's
what you clicked on. So
That's what you clicked on. So that's what you're listening to.
Oh,
whether
man,
you like
we're
it or not.
professionals here, Yeah.
Just
This
changing
is
the
where
format.
where we tell you about things that we watched, listen to, read, live, pop culture junkie.
Live, laugh,
I mean,
love.
if you haven't noticed already, all we've been talking about are just things we watch and love and how they affect our insides, aka hearts.
Bowels.
That's where I was.
Yeah.
Bowels.
Yep. I was thinking that too.
I was trying to avoid anything like
I'm
that.
going to bring it back to poop any
We
chance
just
I
want
get,
to keep you guys regular
Listen.
out there in the podcast verse.
All right, I gotta admit, I was convinced, and I am now a Cobra Kai fan. I'm only 3 episodes in now. I've stopped only because Bree and I were watching it together, and I don't want to watch ahead of her. And I dig it. I think I was avoiding it because I feel like I've associated Karate Kid with trauma back in the day, so it took me a little bit to watch it. But when I did, it was cool the way that they brought in the past, at least the original movies, into the present. And I'm sure you guys talked about this, and that's part of the reason why I was interested in watching it, to kind of see how it works. And it's funny. It's there's suspense in it, and I enjoy watching it. And the newest season came out recently, right?
Yeah, season 4.
Have you guys started watching it?
Watch the whole thing.
Yep. Done and done.
I watched the first episode and barely got through that. to be
Really?
honest. Yeah.
What was it?
Sacrilege.
I just.
Did you ever watch the first Karate
Oh
Kid?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I watched the first 3 seasons. I really enjoyed those, but the 4th season I just could not really get into. I don't know if it's
the
just.
first, the four. Okay, so I
Yes,
thought
the
you watched
first
the
episode of the 4th
okay.
season. Sorry, I could not just get into maybe just because no
It's because
action
there's
actually really
2
happened.
old white guys now. No, there's 4.
Isn't that what it's
Oh,
like?
there is
Yeah,
four.
like they
Two
added a
old white guys
new
right now.
one in.
Yeah.
Like,
The guy that
I
he went to the
will-
party.
I will say though that like Terry Silver at the beginning of season 4, I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this because Karate Kid Part 3, I think I saw it when I was a kid.
it's the
and
weakest. For
I
sure.
hadn't seen it since, and I don't know. A lot of people were really hyped about it, and I was like, I don't know, whatever. And the beginning of season 4, I was kind of like, who cares? Like, is that like another bad? But by the end of season 4,
Yeah, dude.
it gets really intense, and Terry Silver ends up becoming a pretty epic villain. So
I say give it another shot, Nicole.
Yeah.
No,
Get
I
through
will.
it,
I just
yeah.
could not get past the first episode very much, but I really like the first 3 seasons, so I definitely will continue to watch it because I do like the show. So I'll stick through it and do it.
My husband and I started describing it as Riverdale with karate. It's just nonsense. At any given point in time, it's just teenage heartache, adult heartache. The adults this season were really annoying.
yeah.
Like, get over yourselves, y'all.
I feel like they've been annoying for a while. I will say the difference between this teen drama and other teen dramas, aside from karate, is like a self-awareness where like you have a montage this season of Johnny Lawrence training to fight Daniel LaRusso, and his training is just like running through the street, like breaking mailboxes, knocking a football out of a guy's hand on the beach, like just really ridiculous stuff where they embrace like the cheesy 80s nature.
Yeah.
When Terry Silver comes back in the movies, it was just ridiculous because he had it out for Daniel for no reason. Like, why would you have this grown man out, like have it out for this teenage boy? But in the series, they explained, I was, all
I was on
hyped
a
up
lot of
on
cocaine.
back then. Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah.
there's like this self-awareness of we know that this stuff is cheesy and we are going to still give you cheesy karate stuff, but we're also going to give you lines like, do you have any other random karate villains lurking out there that I
Yeah.
don't know about? The one guy at the car dealership, why do I keep getting involved in these karate situations? So at least there's that, I think, where they're not trying to take themselves too seriously.
No, I totally agree. And I love that about this show. Like, it was just hilarious the entire time. I love when he's trying to, like, pimp out Miguel randomly and make him flex. And the girl's like, I'm asexual. And he goes, oh, he's a sexual too. Look at him. Dead.
Johnny's my favorite character, far and away. I feel like Billy Zabka needs all the awards. And I just love, like, the Billy Zabka renaissance. I love that for years. I went to IMDb, actually. We were watching season 4, and I was scrolling through his filmography. I don't know if you guys have looked at it, but he did, like, Karate Kid. And then he did, like, dollar store bin movies for decades. I mean, like, I'm not talking, like, I'm talking, like, Z-list movies that nobody saw. He was probably getting paid in pizza for decades. And then we get Cobra Kai. And I just think that's so cool. And, like, not to take it back to How I Met Your Mother, but on How I Met Your Mother, Barney is like a huge fan of Billy Zabka and always thought that Johnny Lawrence was the good guy. And I just love that, I don't know, these creators of the show saw that and said, what if we make a show based around that? Like, I don't know. I think it's brilliant. It's like one of my favorite shows. And I hate that I binged the whole thing in a day and a half. And now I
know,
gotta wait
and
a
then
whole
there's
other year.
nothing left. I loved the shirtless battle in the end, and they just look at the judge and he just shrugs like, yeah, I mean, of course they're shirtless. Like, of course they are.
What are they supposed to be?
I like, he punched Robbie's gi off, and then Hawk took off his shirt, and then they were both shirtless, and it was just kind of like, well, here we are. There we go. No,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Definitely keep watching. I think it gets better. And you get to meet a new character this season, Kenny, which seems really promising.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying that they want him to be the live action Miles Morales, which I thought was
He's
kind of
so
cool.
cute. He's
Yeah.
such a cutie.
Okay, yeah, I like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely continue watching, and yeah, it sounds like there's some good things to look forward to.
I am dying to talk about the Dexter finale with Alex.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we're gonna talk spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god.
Dexter dies.
Dexter
Wait, for
dies.
real though?
I could have
Or
guessed
he
that.
faked his
Gosh, come on.
It's funny because you were, before we watched it, before it aired, you were like, oh, I just hope he doesn't die.
Yeah, I texted you. I was like, hope they don't kill him.
And I was like, why would that even happen? And then it happened.
So they killed him, brought him back, and then killed him.
Okay, so in the first iteration of the show, he fakes his own death.
Yeah. Okay.
When they announced like the reboot or continuation, I guess I should say, I told my husband straight up, I was like, Harrison's going to kill Dexter. It's the only way it can end. And
I wasn't sure
I'm
about
really
that
good
at
at this
first. I was actually kind of like upset because they were he pretty much had a choice. He didn't have to. I was like, just let him confess and like go to jail.
Though?
I mean, and that's the thing too. I think that's part of the reason why finally I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It makes sense. This is the best way to close this off. Because at the end, he was talking about how he wanted a normal life.
Yeah.
And even if Dexter was put in jail for the rest of his life and was on death row, he would be known as
the son of the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Exactly.
Yep.
That would not be a normal
No.
life. And the only way he can do that was nobody really knows anything about the Bay Harbor Butcher or even that he has a son.
It's literally just with the police chief woman, his girlfriend, whose name I'm blanking on, and poor freaking guy from Miami.
Angel Batista.
Yeah, poor Batista, who's like going to show up in Iron Lakes
I
and be
really wanted a scene between Angel and Dexter.
I know, me too.
And I thought it was going to happen. They, they teased it.
So how did he die?
I'll be there the next morning. Just don't die between now and then.
How did he die?
His son shot him. I mean, at this point, Dexter had killed a cop.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
people that didn't deserve it.
He really he was messy this season. He was sloppy. He taught Harrison the code.
Yeah,
he killed a guy.
At first, I wanted him to do that. And I was like, yeah, do it, show him. And I was like, this isn't good for him.
Yeah,
like when after he was actually like slicing somebody up in front of him, like I was questioning, like, is this good for your son?
Exactly. And I think that's what they wanted us to feel.
I was questioning. That means that at some point.
At some point you are, though.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is good for him.
For like a second, you're like, Harrison's going to carry it on. And then once you hear the saw going through bone, you're like, wait, maybe this isn't
turning
cool.
point.
This isn't cool.
So he was like sawed to death?
No, Harrison shot Dexter.
Oh, you did say shot.
Yeah.
He shot him with a gun in the chest. But
never
Dexter
mind.
basically told him to. He's like,
Yeah.
do it. Like, right.
Yeah,
Make
it
sure you
was
take the
necessary.
safety off and aim right
Gotcha.
here. And like, do it.
So how many episodes were in this like revival?
10?
I
I think
there
it's
were
10.
10,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not, and it's done now. It's not continued.
done.
It was just this 10 episode revival.
Actually,
I don't know if I want it, honestly.
I think that they are teasing, and by the time this episode comes out, it might be official, like having it continue with Harrison. But I don't know because I don't think he has the dark passenger. I don't think he wants to kill people. I mean, he broke a kid's arm. There's a big leap from breaking a kid's arm to like
I'm
murder.
gonna say that because he does have a taste for this. They didn't show that he wasn't interested in it.
Yeah,
He went down there to
he's
watch
murder
this.
curious.
Yeah, he is. So I mean, maybe he does want to, live a normal life and like, figure out what that means and start, life anew. But even still in the process, maybe the dark passenger becomes his dad.
Maybe he wants murder light,
Murder light.
like diet soda, like diet murder,
Oh,
Murder light.
Like letting him go
like
at the
Bud
end?
Light,
What?
murder light. Like he's gonna
No.
live his life with just a little murder on the side,
Okay. Just a little
like
murder.
the Diet Coke of murder.
Okay.
But I mean, Dexter was great. I'm sad to see him go, but I'm happy it ended that way because 10 years ago, I hated the ending. I hated it.
Yeah.
And I could easily hate this ending, but I feel like it was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. I liked it. I think it summed it up well. I think it was the only way it could have gone.
How old is Harrison?
Ooh,
He's a teenager in high
15,
school, maybe
16.
17, 18.
Dang.
He's old
gonna
enough
be
to be
messed up.
doing drugs and having sex.
Yeah.
Whatever that means nowadays.
I know.
Yeah.
Jeez. So pretty young, but
Yeah.
Intense. I mean, I feel like it's good that you guys were satisfied with the ending. I can't tell you how many shows have come back in revival format only to disappoint me at every possible turn. So
I
at
know.
least, quit while you're ahead.
I'm still a fan of a fan. That's a loose term of, and just like that, I begrudgingly watch every week.
It did make me want to go back to the beginning and watch Dexter after that. Like, oh man, because you still feel like you want more.
Yeah. You want to see Dokes again?
Yeah. Oh man, the whole thing. Did you guys also watch Don't Look Up? Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Who didn't watch?
Yeah, that's like the
Right.
craze right now. It's on all over the Netflix, all over the memes and the
The
YouTubes.
Netflix.
all over the
Everybody's-
Netflix and the Twitters.
Yeah, everybody's sharing it on their Instagram and internet pages.
Send it to the internet.
On their
Put it on the
Tumblrs,
internet page.
Pinterest.
It's on my.
It's on my Zenga.
Yeah, that's what it's on my Zenga page.
Check
Oh,
out my live
man.
journal, you guys.
Just aged me
Yeah,
so
it's just
hard.
so interesting because even though because it's one of those things where it feels like it can happen, but also like, is it happening now? And kind of just because right now it feels like the end of the world. Let me tell you the truth. Like everything is just right now. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
When they had the political rally at the end, when they were like, "Don't look up," and I was just screaming at the TV. You just need one person. You just need one person to look up and like just be like, "Hey, there's literally a meteor coming at us." And I think that is what I just scream into the abyss every day. We just need one person to just be like, "Hey, this is stupid."
I think it was funny. My husband was cracking up the whole time. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen him laugh so hard.
they did great. I'd have to
yeah,
say
he
the
was
cast did an
dying.
amazing
The
job.
dry humor is just so funny.
It was good satire, and I feel like a lot of times, if you're a logical human being existing in a society, can be challenging because we're constantly barraged by illogical people who refuse to see facts as facts or science as science or repost, retweet, lie after lie after
Mhm.
lie. And so I liked it and it was funny and it was well done. I don't know if it works perfectly as an allegory for climate change specifically because
You think that's what it was?
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Did they say? I don't remember much now in the movie. Did they mention it was?
Well, I know the cast has since they've been posting things and sharing things and stuff
Okay.
specifically about
I see.
combating climate change.
Yeah,
and I know
Leonardo DiCaprio was big on that.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I know that was the motivation or the underlying message of the movie. But I think the big difference, right, unlike a comet that is like going to kill everybody all at once, right, and it is more obvious. I
Climate
think
change is going to kill
Well,
us
I
all
mean,
slowly over
we're-
time.
The thing is, though,
kind
too,
of, yeah.
It's almost the same. I feel because all right, the comet is light years away. Somebody catches it. It's almost like
They have
we
time to
notice
prepare.
these melting caps, like these caps, like melting, these ice caps melting. Like it's almost like we
Mhm.
notice that this is happening. We see the forests, going ablaze. We see it coming towards us, and we're telling you it can end right now. And then there's a whole process of like we have that plan right now,
Yeah.
but we have to initiate it right now. And then they're like in the movie, oh, let's sell it let's do something else with it. Let's
Yeah.
make it a party or something. It's
Like
just,
we
That
can
was-
make
Mhm.
money out of this.
And that was my favorite part was like the weird Mark Zuckerberg-y, Elon Musk type Steve Jobs guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was so creepy.
Coming in and talking about how he can monetize it and how he didn't really know how and the
Mhm.
science wasn't really there, but it sounded good. And so people were like, yes, let's do
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
This all just feels like COVID to me, honestly. It's like this is crashing down on us. Everyone, look at the science. COVID is bad. Lots of people are dying and are going to continue to die. Oh, but the economy's doing good. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Or just this whole, like, oh, well, COVID's, the flu or whatever
Yeah.
until like your aunt dies.
Yeah,
Or,
they're like,
you know what I
"Oh,
mean? Like, then it's real,
Mhm.
It's, I don't know. I loved the cast and I loved Tyler Perry and Kate Blanchett were my
Oh, yeah.
favorite.
oh my
As
God,
the
they're so
anchors?
frustrating.
Ah, but it was so
yeah,
spot on,
funny
right?
and
This-
frustrating. Yeah.
everything, we're just trying to make everything light. We're just trying to make it all entertaining. Like, man, if that isn't the truth
Yep.
with media, let's just kind of brush everything under the rug and sugarcoat it.
I
did
definitely
love-
loved
okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in it. I
Mhm.
thought it was. I mean, he's known to be like a great actor, or at least talented. And I thought in this one he like put on a whole character. I think
Mhm.
like his voice was like different. There was like different. There's some Leonardo DiCaprio mannerisms, but it really, I was I liked seeing him like this, and he just looked like some regular dude.
He looked like a dude. Yeah, you weren't watching it like I'm watching Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm watching Leonardo. Oh my God, say that 3 times fast. Leonardo DiCaprio. You're like, I'm watching this scientist, this dumpy scientist guy who like is just a dude who really wants you to listen to him.
Mhm.
I did love Jennifer Lawrence throughout the whole movie, just being so pissed that guy
About the
charged her for
snacks?
snacks. Just how it kept carrying through. Like, how did he think we wouldn't notice?
Yes.
I loved Meryl Streep, and I don't know why she cracked me up the entire time. And also Jonah Hill when he was
Jonah
was
Hill.
on stage and he was like, "If she wasn't my mother," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
God.
you've
I
got to be
didn't even
kidding
know
me!"
It's a
that.
nice little
the
Trump
worst.
throwback right
Yeah,
there.
he was introducing her. And he said that. And
Oh,
then I
man,
also
didn't
felt
notice
bad
that.
for Jennifer Lawrence in the movie because everyone thought she was crazy or insane, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to say she is legit. And if you don't believe her, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio got all the credit and
Yeah.
was
Well,
on
of
the
course, we're going to listen to the man.
face of a magazine and
Yeah.
everything. And then she was working at a grocery store, but
What was with Timothy Chalamet's character though? I have to say,
Which
like,
one's that?
he was the like young
Random
guy
Christian
at the
Yeah,
end.
that
skater
she loved
boyfriend.
at the end of it. Yeah, she was sitting next to dinner at
He, like,
Leonardo
said the
DiCaprio's
prayer.
house.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so. I mean, I love him. Don't get me wrong, but he
Yeah.
was just the most random addition.
Yes.
To I kept thinking, like, what role is he supposed to play?
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for something significant to happen. And then he prayed, and then they all died. And I was like, I don't know what I just watched. It was
Oh,
really
man.
bizarre.
I did think the Ariana Grande concert was useless.
That was
I was
so
like,
funny.
why do we have to
You know,
watch
honestly, I was
Ariana?
looking forward to even having Kid Cudi there, and I didn't feel it was necessary.
It was so unnecessary, or at least it went on for too long.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
don't
that's what
know.
it was.
She improvised some of her lines though in that song, which I found out, which is pretty.
Reading
pretty
the lyrics
funny.
is
Yes.
pretty funny.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brother texted me too. He's like, "Yo, did you hear that song? It's so good." And I trust my brother's
Yeah.
music taste. And I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. This is comedy.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't sure if he was like actually telling me that it was a good song.
She's Ariana,
He
so
thought
of
it
course
was
it's going to be
legit.
kind of a
Yeah.
bop no matter what.
I
Oh,
wondered
wait.
how many.
Or at the end, it also got me kind of when Jonah Hill was just sitting there by himself.
Oh,
She's gonna come
Oh
back.
yeah,
She's gonna come back.
Oh, that was sad. That was really
I kind of
sad.
found it funny.
Did you guys
but
watch the post credits scene? Did you
Yeah.
watch all
Yeah,
the
there
way
was
through
a-
the
I
credits?
didn't
God.
catch it.
I did not. I was
What?
watching the end of it with my mom, and I knew that there was something bad after post credits,
Should
so
we
I
spoil
turned
it?
it
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I mean, I know
I'm
what
not-
it was.
I
I
don't know what it
googled
was.
it, but
So the like surviving politicians who go off planet. Remember, they asked Leo if he wanted to come, and he's like, "Nah, I want to be with my family." It shows them in the future, like, and all of their pods open up, and they're on a new planet, and they're all butt ass naked.
Oh no, I did see this. That's right. You know, that feels like the most realistic thing that could have that happened in that movie.
Meryl Streep's tramp stamp.
That was not added for the movie.
Meryl Streep.
Oh man.
In conclusion, everybody watch Don't Look Up.
Yeah, no, it
Wait
made,
for the post credits.
Yeah.
it made
watch the
sense to
credits.
have these people land in some unknown planet and then just like get eaten up by the people,
Immediately.
the creatures that live there. Like,
Uh,
you don't belong here.
just the hubris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It's only been a little over a week being in 2022, and we've already lost a couple legends in their own right in this time. One being Bob Saget, who passed at 65 not too long ago. It was sad. It was definitely a sad loss. It hit me as hard as Bernie Mac, honestly. And I was a big Bernie Mac fan because it was unexpected.
It just out of nowhere. Like, I saw it on Twitter and I was like, no way. And then I immediately Googled Bob Saget. And at that point, nothing popped
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, maybe this is just a hoax. And I kept refreshing the page. And then finally the TMZ article popped up. And I'm like, this is insane. Just out of nowhere.
He had
Yeah.
just performed a show in Orlando.
Yeah.
He had just
Mhm.
posted on his Instagram. And man, 65 is young.
Too
and
soon.
I think that, it was so shocking because he's a huge figure. I mean, he's been
Mhm.
around for such a long time. And all of us 90s kids grew up with with Full House. I mean, like, I don't know a single
Yeah.
house in the 90s that didn't have Full House.
I'm going to admit I've never seen an episode of Full House in my entire
But you
life.
knew in Full House,
Oh,
right?
but I knew what
Yeah.
it was. I watched him on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that
true.
too.
He was
Yeah.
doing that at the same time he was doing Full
Yeah.
House, too. Like, he
He's
was
a busy guy.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if you guys saw any of the, like, dedications that, you know, celebrities have been posting or some of the stories that they've been sharing. Again, he was on How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
And Allison Hannigan shared a really cool story of she actually babysat his daughters when she was a teenager. So before, you know, How I Met Your Mother was ever even a thing. And she shared a really cool story about that. And Jimmy Kimmel went on his show and cried his way through a dedication to him. And John Stamos posted, I mean, the whole Full House cast has posted, you know, numerous things about him because they really were like a family.
Yeah.
But John Stamos post today, he shared this post on Tuesday that, like, I was literally bawling at my desk at work because it was so heartfelt, and it was all about how he's not ready to say goodbye. And so for now, he's still just out on tour. Bob's just still out on tour, and he's playing his next show, and we'll see him later, you know. And I think obviously grief is, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just hits you. And I think this one, this one hit me harder.
Yeah.
Than,
I mean, I've heard a lot of celebrities and read about a lot of celebrities, you know, just like, you know, posting all these great things about him, but just showing how much people enjoyed being around Bob Saget, appreciated him. Like, he was just this, to me, it sounds from listening and like seeing these posts from these celebrities that this guy was, you know, really meant something to a lot
nice
of people.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I kept gathering too, is that everyone's just like, nobody had a bad word to say about this guy. He was just genuinely a nice dude.
Yeah, the other thing too I kept seeing from people and celebrities that were posting about him is he never was embarrassed to show his emotions, tell you how he felt, and he always ended every conversation saying, I love you to whoever he was talking to. And I think that's just a really big eye-opener nowadays with everything going on, is just tell the people who you love that you love them, and people that you care about that you do care about them, and that these people in your life are super special to you because you never know when you will never talk to them again, see them again. And it's just, it's heartbreaking. I grew up watching Full House, even though I was a late 90s kid, but I have season 1 all on DVD. And
did you guys watch Fuller House?
Yes, I was obsessed with both. I think it's such a funny show. And I think, I don't know. This one was hard.
Yeah, I think there were going to be some new shows. At least I heard some rumors. I don't really have any details on it, but he was, he like wrapped up some production on something.
Oh yeah, he was consistently, constantly
was,
working. My favorite thing about Bob Saget is that, I mean, there's so many different sides to him, and like people see him obviously as the Full House dad, but he was raunchy.
Yeah.
He was a dirty comedian.
Yes.
Like it's just had so many. I feel like for a while he was kind of trying to like run away from that Danny Tanner image, and you watch his like stand-up routines, and it's filthy.
Oh man!
But at the same time, he was Danny. Like he came back to Fuller House, right? It's like he was able to do all of these things and balance them all, because it's like, you know, all of us are multifaceted like that. We're all kind of Danny Tanner and filthy at the same time, right?
Yeah, he's got some epic appearances at like celebrity roasts, guest appearances on talk shows that are really, really great. Super, super funny.
Yeah,
guy.
he's definitely made his mark.
Yeah.
I had no idea that he and John Mayer were like best friends.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah, John Mayer shared a thing about how devastated he was, and that
that
was
makes me laugh.
I know it was a little bizarre, to be honest, but yeah, but again, I think it speaks to like how big his influence was and how many people he affected.
Yeah, his daughter shared the last text that he sent to the family, and it was, "Showtime, love you."
No.
And I was like, that's just so heartbreaking.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine. I don't think his wife has come out with a statement yet, but I can't even imagine what she's going through.
God.
She did. She did
released
a statement to People
Tuesday?
Magazine on Tuesday.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was just about how devastated she is, and he's her whole world, and respect my privacy. And Jeffrey Ross, who's another comedian, talked about how there was a gathering at their house at Bob Saget's house with the cast from Full House and all of his like closest friends and family, and they just all stood around the kitchen drinking and laughing and
Mm.
crying together and stuff. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you know,
Man.
someone who's been in that situation pretty recently of
Right.
the
Mhm.
grieving gathering, you know, like I just know how hard that is. And
You're just kind of like in a daze the whole time.
Yeah. so I can only imagine like being hounded after by paparazzi and
Yeah.
media and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
I also saw pictures too of the actual house that you see on the intro of Full House. There was flowers all around the gate and
Aw.
everything. The gate does say private home, please. Like
The people
be-
living inside are
Please
like,
be respectful.
damn it.
Yeah, but there's flowers all around the gate, and gosh, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine.
Well, I also want to pay my respects to Sidney Poitier.
Yeah,
who
that's
also
right.
passed at 94. He was, I didn't see any of his movies only because, you know, they're pretty old, but I've known the Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
And, you know, going to theater school, I've heard of, you know, studied.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's the first Black person to win an Oscar in 1964. You know, he died at, he passed at 94. So he had a long life and accomplished a lot in his life. Yeah, he's won the Golden Globe, is a competitive British Academy of Film and Television and Arts, also known as BAFTA. He's won
So
Grammys
many
for his spoken
films.
word
Yeah.
album. He did. I don't remember the name of the film, but it's kind of like Meet the Parents. It's who's
It's
coming
Guess
for
Who's
dinner.
Coming to Dinner.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
they did like a remake of it with Ashton Kutcher and
Bernie
was it
Mac.
Bernie Mac? Yeah,
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
Guess Who? Yeah, it's based on.
Oh
on
yeah,
that, yeah.
So yeah, he was in that film. I mean, he's just, you know, we're talking about legends,
Mhm.
and you know that's another one that's really made. You know, he's another person who's really definitely made a mark, in time.
And another guy who like just everybody posting was just all about how nice he was, and
Yeah.
how kind he was, and how loving. And man, it's like we lost.
All the
We're
good
losing
ones.
good
man.
people,
It's just
yeah.
only a couple weeks in, and it's like,
Yeah.
like, yo, slow
2012
down
all
real
over
quick.
again, the 10-year
Don't
Jeez,
do this
right?
to me. Don't do this. To me.
Now I'm just
Crazy.
thinking of like, God, this is gonna sound so messed up. Like that celebrity death that's eventually gonna happen. That everyone's like, oh, yeah. We all collectively were like, well, they just kind of sucked.
Yeah.
When Dustin Diamond died, like I hate to be like that, but like remember Screech?
Yeah, we were all like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
we were all like,
kind of sucked anyway.
oh, well, all right.
Well, I do want to move a little bit from this, you know, pay my respects to Bob Saget and Sidney Poitier, you know, legends in everything they've done.
Absolutely.
You know, made a mark, inspirations to many. And, you know, just happy that we are able to have things that we can reflect and remember them by. But, you know, something I wish didn't happen already in 2022 is knowing how people make their money on the side. And literally putting it on the side, like farting into a jar, putting it on the side, and keeping it there for someone to purchase.
Okay,
So
so
they can see me laughing. I can
Yeah,
see
I'm
you
like,
guys
why
looking
are
at
you
me.
laughing? We're talking about death.
It's because I knew that's where Alex was
Oh,
going.
okay.
I knew he was just
Here's
trying
where
to
I'm at.
I was
think.
really trying to
It's like
drag
weird.
this
Yeah.
so that
we're like laughing about Dustin Diamond.
Yeah.
And then Alex is like, I'm going to bring this back serious. So I was like, oh crap. Like maybe we were taking it in the wrong
Yeah.
direction. And Alex is trying to bring us back.
No.
But then you brought up the farts. And then I was like, oh, no, wait. No, okay. We were
in
on
the
the
back
right.
of my head, I'm like, how is Alex going to segue from like this to the farts?
It was
And
really hard.
It was good.
It was
you did
really
a good
hard.
job.
I was really hard. Anyways, if you're confused as to what we're talking about, star of 90 Day Fiancé, Stephanie Matto, was recently in the hospital for an interesting condition, or at least it was what caused it was more interesting. She was in the hospital for heart issues.
Okay.
Yes.
And it turns out that she was, all right. Okay. So
Back
say
up.
it. Just
Back
let
I'll
it
up.
just back
get it
up.
out.
I'll back up. It's just hard to talk about because like who does this? But yeah, 90 Day Fiancé star. If you don't know 90 Day Fiancé, you know, it's about people trying to find love in 90 days from people in other countries. And anyways, she's known to be this like YouTuber. Also, so she like has her like YouTube page where she like does things.
She's really
And
pretty.
She's pretty, yeah. But one of the things that she does, you know, as a side hustle,
I just had to
is
throw that in. I'm sorry.
she's pretty. She's pretty. Actually, in the last episode, she was trying to take a bath. She has this thing. She's trying to lose her celibacy, and so the way she initiates it is taking a bath with the people beforehand. It's 90 Day Fiancé.
Bubble
This Is
bath,
Life.
you get it?
She's running her own
Oh my
jet
God.
stream.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't got. So if it's
I would
taking
like
me
to no longer be affiliated with this podcast.
She made her
I'm
own
gonna
bubble bath, if
recuse
you know what I
myself.
mean.
Yeah. So pretty much, if you haven't caught it, she farts in a jar and sells it, and she's been doing too much of it and got heart problems.
Okay, so it looks like her diet was the day in the life of a fart jar girl content. Her diet was lots of protein shakes and cabbage stews
And
in
Taco
order to
Bell.
make herself just as gaseous as possible. She would rip ass into these jars and then sell them online. And she has made upwards of $200,000 selling her stanky jar
People are into
fart
some
juice.
shit, literally.
Yeah.
Like what the?
Hey, what do we need to sell to get some money for this podcast?
So if you guys go to our Patreon right now, you can get Shauna's farts.
Listen,
in
I got
a jar.
ideas. I can make this happen.
Taco Bell just launched their taco subscription service. So it'll be, coming
Gorgeous,
to a jar
gorgeous
near
girls
you.
are farting into jars this holiday season.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
I mean, there's obviously, there's a market for it.
You know what? Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, it is sad that she went to the hospital because of it. I
Is
wonder if
it?
she's going to continue. I wonder if
How
that,
do you fart into a jar?
I wonder how much
Terrible.
further would she have taken this? Like, do you then try to create perfumes? Are you eating specific, in addition to this diet?
Ooh, like
are you,
scented.
Yeah, like is it strawberry and cinnamon?
Ooh.
Like what happens?
Oh, no.
Or just poop in a jar.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the next level.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
2021 was a hot girl summer. 2022 is a fart girl summer.
Yeah, it's gassy girl summer.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
This is
That's
my
where,
time.
that's where all the heat went.
I've been drinking a lot of protein shakes anyway. I'm ready.
This
I'm geared
reminds
up.
me of that. I guess she was a Twitch streamer, and she was selling her like used bath water.
I got an email from some dude
Ew.
on Craigslist asking me to send him my old underwear.
Wait,
so, and my husband, I'm not joking, was like, just go buy some underwear at the store.
Honestly.
And then just
yeah. Smart.
let
Shoot
it sit
onto
out,
'em.
whatever. Yeah, and just send it. I was like, babe, no, I have standards. He's like, I want money.
Do you want to forward me this, guys?
Actually, you never know. Imagine if they would have came back and she's sells her drawers.
Most nice.
Go
Yeah.
get some.
Go get some. I just think, she's a young entrepreneur. Stephanie, not Hayley. I mean, Hayley could be too. And the bills aren't going to pay themselves. It's been a really hard pandemic
She
for
does
all
live
of
in
us.
a big house
Yeah.
in
and
Connecticut, so those are pricey.
So,
Wow.
good
She
for
has
you,
to pay
girl.
for it. Yeah.
Just maybe space it out a little more. Maybe do a cleanse in between. Yeah.
You should be her consultant or something.
Uh,
Sounds like you.
Girl, call me. Years of gas right here. I could be your fart consultant. I feel like Bob Saget would be happy with us, you guys. I feel like he'd be listening. He'd be like, yep, this is good. That was a great
Good,
segue.
great follow-up.
This is great.
Moving on from the farts. The Pop Culture Junkies are announcing the Junkies Choice Awards. So, we are asking our listeners to come up with a few category ideas that we could do. It could be anything, what you're binging or, what crazy relationships happened, any really kind of category that you can think of. We're looking for suggestions.
Which celebrities fart in a jar would you be tempted to buy?
That's a good one.
That's going to be one. Okay.
Or
I
which
like it.
celebrity looks like they smell like a fart in a jar? Like you know what I
Machine
mean?
Gun Kelly.
Pete Davidson.
Done.
It's a tie.
Oh, man.
Any category you would have seen it MTV Movie Awards, stuff like that. You can draw from those for inspiration, but also come up with your own funny categories and send them to us.
Yeah, something. Lamest sex scene, worst fan service, best representation, et cetera, et cetera. Anything. So, yeah, definitely are encouraging you guys to send us some recommendations for some categories. All right. So, yeah, let's get we're here at the end of the show. It was quite the ride today.
That was quite
Yeah, it's the
we
first
were
time
all
we're
over the
together,
place.
2022.
Y'all had me laughing today.
No, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, this is starting the year. Glad we all have each other and that we're safe and healthy.
Mhm.
Going on another day, ready for this other year, this new year.
We are ready. We
We're
are
ready.
eating lots of cabbage stew.
Mm-hmm.
We are prepared.
I got
Take your
some
vitamins.
mason
Eat your
jars.
cabbage.
Yep.
Mason
ready.
jars.
Mix
For
some
2022.
jars.
Yeah, but let's
I'm
close
sorry,
out
I'm
with
not going to let it go.
let's close out with sharing where you can find us. Shauna?
You can find me, Shauna Trinidad, at SHAUNATRINIDAD on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me, Nicole, on Instagram and TikTok at Nicole_Eldridge and on Twitter at NAEldridge14.
You can find me, Hayley, on Instagram at 30NerdyThriving and on Twitter at 30NerdyPod.
And this is Alex. You can find me at ALCASNUN on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch the Pop Culture Junkies online at popculturejunkie.com, Facebook at Pop Culture Junkie Podcast. And don't forget to join our Pop Culture Junkie support group. Send those Junkie Choice Awards category ideas. Twitter at Pop Junkies and Instagram at pop.culturejunkies. Don't forget, join us again next week for another hit of pop culture.
Pop Culture Junkie is a production of Pop Culture Entertainment Group. All rights reserved.